Hi, today I want to talk about the four reasons why you need a Roth IRA. Hi, if we haven't met yet, my name is Darren Vilardo and I'm the founder of Tekton Wealth Advisors, an independent fiduciary advisory firm. And I've been in this industry for almost 30 years, and it pains me that I still get questions around what's the difference between a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA, and how does it all work, and why on earth I keep hearing on the internet or I see that I should be doing Roth conversions, and people just don't understand the power that Roth IRA has versus a traditional IRA. So today I just want to quickly give you the top 4 reasons why I believe everybody should have a Roth IRA. Let me start, if I may, with just a basic overview of some of the key differences. So with the Roth IRA, you may be aware it's after-tax contributions. That is, we're paying the taxes now, paying tax on the seed. You might have heard that, but we're going to let that money grow tax-free all during our lifetime, and we're not going to pay any taxes on the harvest in the future. Tax-free withdrawals, that's the key differentiator, and that's really where the power comes in. But there's a few other nuances about Roth that a lot of people aren't aware, and that is no required minimum distributions. Caveat is always while the owner is alive, but no RMDs when you're retired, when you're 75 or 80 or 90. There's no forced distributions from a Roth IRA. Flexible access to your contributions, that is, you can always take out your contributions pre-59.5. Prior to the 5-year rule being satisfied, your contributions can always be taken out in the event of an emergency or change in plans. No taxes, no penalties. And your Roth IRA assets will pass income tax-free to your beneficiaries. So no taxes to your beneficiaries so long as that 5-year rule has been satisfied. And if we just simply look at all the reasons that everything we know about a traditional IRA, hey, the rules don't apply. You always have pre-tax contributions, which may be a plus, just depending on your tax bracket when you're putting the money in. But I can tell you that most of my clients are regretful now that they put so much into those pre-tax qualified plans, because later in life, in retirement, after Social Security begins, there's no deductions. Hey, I got a tax bill now, and the IRS is my silent partner on all my tax savings back in the past. You will have your required minimum distributions. They will either start at age 73, or if you're born after 1960, they will start at age 75. But RMDs are going to be a thing, and as I said, that's where most of our clients are really struggling, because you have to take that money out whether you need to or not. There's only one loophole, and it's a modest one and doesn't really apply for everybody. And of course, your beneficiaries are going to pay tax on those assets after you pass. There's a thing called the 10-year rule now for non-spouse beneficiaries. So back before 2019, if you passed an IRA to someone, they would have their whole lifetime to stretch out those distributions. But now the money has to be taken within 10 years for non-spouse beneficiaries. So it could cause adverse tax consequences for your children or grandchildren. So let's go a little bit deeper in each of those. As I said, tax-free growth and withdrawals. Reason number 1 is very simple and straightforward. Would you rather pay tax on the seed, as you do with a Roth IRA, or pay it after it's grown and compounded over your lifetime? We call that a compound tax on those pre-tax qualified assets, because you're not only paying tax on the principal, but you're paying tax on all the growth in those traditional pre-tax qualified plans. And by the way, I'm not just talking about your traditional IRA, but I'm talking about your pre-tax 401k, your 403b, your TSP, your T7, your SEP, your Simple, all of them, where you took the deduction when you made the contribution with the hope that you'd be in a lower tax bracket in the future. Our clients say, hey, that's simply not the case. All right, reason number 2. As I said, no required minimum distributions for a Roth IRA as long as the owner is alive. You will have required minimum distributions from your traditional pre-tax qualified plan. What does that mean? That means more flexibility, because you're never forced to take any of the money out should you decide not to. And if you do want to take some out, there's no set amount that you must take out. Very powerful tool. Number 3, early access to contributions. Number 4, estate planning. If you're 45, 50, 55 and you put money into a traditional IRA, guess what? Can't touch it until you're 59 and a half without an additional penalty. But with a Roth, because you've already paid tax on the money that's going in, you always have access to those contributions at any time for any reason without tax and without penalty. Now, if you tap into your growth, then you will be taxed and you will potentially face an early withdrawal penalty if you're not yet 59 and a half and the 5-year rule has not been satisfied. But you always have access to your contributions with a Roth. So what does that mean? It's like an extra emergency fund. If your plans change, we like to say having a well thought out written financial plan allows you to make wise decisions when life happens. And sometimes life happens, and a Roth IRA gives you additional flexibility. A traditional IRA, individual retirement arrangement, that's the technical name with the IRS and ERISA, Department of Labor, right? IRAs are designed for retirement. That's the deal that we make with Uncle Sam, with the IRS. Hey, we're going to use that money for retirement. And with the traditional IRA, those RMDs force you to begin taking that money out for retirement. And if it passes to your beneficiaries, they're going to be taxed on any withdrawals. Not so with a Roth IRA. Distributions taken by your beneficiaries are income tax-free so long as the 5-year rule has been satisfied. So it's very easy to see how powerful a Roth IRA can be. Let me just change screens here, if I may, very quickly, okay? Because I want to share this. This is an example now. Think of this as a hypothetical, but nonetheless real world, I think, scenario. And that is, if you save money in a Roth IRA, whether it's through contributions or conversions, and you allow that money to grow, again, tax-free, versus saving in a traditional IRA. Now, I believe that since Roth IRA can be such a powerful tool for our beneficiaries, that it makes complete sense to think about chasing more growth in a Roth IRA. We sometimes refer to that as our never money. It's money that we're unlikely to spend during our retirement, and it's going to pass. So would you rather pass it in a traditional IRA where your beneficiaries will be taxed, or would you rather pass it in a Roth IRA where it will be tax-free to your beneficiaries? And since it's going to be a long-term time horizon, that's where we should have our more growth-oriented assets. So I assign a little bit higher rate of return to the Roth IRA. In this case, I'm using 7% versus the traditional IRA, which we don't want to necessarily grow to the moon because of those tax consequences. We don't want to have all that extra level of risk. So I assign a 5% rate of return to traditional IRA. And here, over time, with that $6,000 annual contribution, how the money grows, okay? $6,000, I know the limit is $7,000 now if you're not yet 50, and it's $8,000 if you're over 50, but not everybody can put that in. Again, this is just a hypothetical to show the value of the tax-free components of Roth IRA. So Roth IRA grows over time to approximately $600,000, and the traditional IRA only grows to about $424,000. And indeed, the after-tax amount, assuming a 24% tax rate to beneficiaries, your beneficiaries are only going to see $322,000. So it's a little more than half. The two things I know are true. Number one, we all love our families. We all love our kids. And number two, we all hate the IRS. So a Roth IRA allows you to have the best of all worlds, but most importantly, it means that more of your assets using a Roth IRA will likely go to your children versus to the IRS. I'm Darren Vilardo. Thank you so much. Our goal here is to provide value and information to help you make the right decisions for your financial firm. Our firm is predicated on the idea that you deserve to live your best life in retirement, a life that's filled with joy, fun, and purpose, a life you love. Thank you so much. God bless.